Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Thank you, Maria. It's an honor for me to be here today to hear about your experiences during the whole week. As you know, and I've already said this these past few days, this program that we launched, this is the first edition, has an objective, giving you a voice, but also listening to you. You've had the opportunity during these days to talk to representatives of the legal power, the executive power. You've been in AECID, in the Spanish Corporation for International Development and Cooperation, and you've been having meetings, work meetings, in a very special moment when we are establishing the pillars for new programs, new plans. So you arrived here in an essential moment, in a key moment. You've not only talked, but we've listened to what you had to say. You've also been in touch with representatives of our civil society. So we could also give you a framework for you to express yourselves and to show us your point of view. Like our colleague from Kenya was telling us yesterday, you need to be prepared to listen to us. Well, I think that this week has been a perfect example of this. We've heard you, we've listened to you at all levels, which was one of our goals, one of the goals of this program. Another of the goals is creating networks. Networks among yourselves, which is essential, and also networks between institutions. We have a good representation of our civil society here as well, associations, foundations that you got to know this week. And thanks to this, we also had new programs, new projects, like Rosanna from Cape Green was telling me, and I'm sure she will mention this today again, how this program is giving rise to new projects in her country. Besides, you could get to know some things from our culture, from our people, and from our gastronomy. So, well, as we were saying yesterday, I hope that when you go back to your countries, you will be smiling. You will have a smile on your face and also a smile on your soul. I hope that this has been a very positive experience for all of you. And I want to thank some people now. First of all, thank you to all of you, each one of you. Thank you for your contribution, for the active role you've played in these meetings. Sometimes really, really active, which is also something we need to be thankful for. Thank you for your energy, really getting all the way here today after a beautiful walk around the city of Madrid is proof of your commitment, of your energy until the very last moment. So thank you. Thank you for that as well. And I wanted to thank Cristina and Casa Árabe for having us here, very especially also to the Foundation Mujeres por Africa for organizing these 3 wonderful sessions on Monday, Tuesday, and today with women representatives from the different areas. I think that was a great pillar for all this project. And finally, I also wanted to thank all the people behind the scenes in this project. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. First of all, someone that you don't even know, but who's helped us from the very beginning of the program, who's been working online, Diego Mayoral, who I really want to thank for all his work, all his effort, his dedication to this program, and the 3 people that you do know who've accompanied you these days. Betania Lozano, Carmen Matas, and Pablo Barrios. Thank you. Thank you very much. I cannot say it enough. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. And also, thank you. Thank you for that. That smile that I want them to wear on your face and on your soul is thanks to you. So thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Belen, for your kind words. And now I will share with you the conclusions that we have after these days. Our dear friends from Africa will sure have the possibility to contribute with their own. Conclusions from women in the Raisa project. African women, Mediterranean and Spanish women participating in the Raisa project have shared the following ideas during these days in Madrid. The inequality situation is present in any society. It's true that they are diverse in their thinking, but women are the same in rights, goals, and powers. All women, just because of being born women, are potential activists because every day they are fighting, struggling for their plain citizenship status. Like we heard from activists, we are living in a patriarchy, and we are lacking the necessary legal framework to change this situation. The barriers imposed by patriarchy avoid women to get to full power positions, but when they get there, it's a huge benefit for the whole society. As the women in the legal area reminded us, the lack of economic resources and a specific focus in human rights and the legal framework are the main obstacles for enforcing the laws. In most countries, there are laws protecting women, but the real challenge is to enforce them, to implement them, which is in the hands of women working in the legal area. This is one of the biggest problems in gender inequality. The responsibles and representatives of public administrations told us that this is essential. All countries need to ratify the law. Women in the communication area explained how communication is responsible to share messages and raise awareness among everyone, the importance of gender equality, especially among younger generations. And this is key. As the women working in the women, peace and safety area, the objective of associations and organizations involved in peace processes don't have the participation of women in a balanced way. Therefore, the international community is perpetrating the patriarchy. We need to invest in social peace, not only in political peace, because only this will be the true guarantee of peace, and women play an essential role in this area. As the women in the business area said, it's true that there has been education and we've improved in Africa, but it's difficult still for young women to find employment. Due to all these, we need a bigger effort in the political, social, and institutional arena to improve gender equality. We need to use the same strategy that the patriarchy uses. We need to work together. We need to break the glass ceiling, because solidarity is essential among women. We need to appoint women in high power positions in the political area, in communication, because when women are leaders, we improve equality. Business, academia, and the social society need to work together to guarantee the success in the employment market for women. We need to promote participation of women in politics, in the public administrations, and in international organizations, because we need to be present. We need to keep working and supporting women movement, because they are the real engine of social change. We need to create networks among different generations in business and universities. Education for boys and girls is an essential pillar for gender equality. Governments, educational institutions, social organizations, the whole society needs to get involved in fighting against gender violence, which is one of the biggest problems, not a private problem, but a public one in our world. The international community needs to reinforce its role as the guardian of gender equality. We need to improve training and helping women mediators. We need to work together with men, and we need to encourage curiosity as a way to advance in gender equality. We don't need just political citizenship, but also social citizenship. We need to approve laws, but also implement them, enforce them. That's essential, and all countries need to ratify the CEDAW to protect women.
Y a continuación.
And now I will give the floor to our African colleagues. First of all, Sehin Tefera from Ethiopia.
Come here.
Hola, everyone. I wasn't expecting to go first. So not very prepared. But I would just like to say thank you to the organizers of Raisa, Belen, and the rest of the team. It's been a really wonderful few days. We've learned so much, and I've learned so much from my colleagues from the other parts of Africa and Mediterranean countries. I only have a few comments on how I think subsequent programs could be improved, and they have to do not so much with the planning, but perhaps the use of time. I should slow down. I'm getting a comment that I should slow down. I always speak very fast. So a few of us were saying that would have been really nice, and we gave this feedback to Belen yesterday as well, to have had time, perhaps just one session at the beginning, to get to know each other, because although we received the bios early, which was good, we didn't really have a chance to get to know each other before, so that would have been great. But also an opportunity to learn from the challenges of Spanish feminists, because I'm sure they've struggled, you've struggled as much as we have, and Spain looks really great now in terms of gender equality, but I'm sure this wasn't an easy path, so it would have been really nice to have had an opportunity to learn on what those challenges have been. But apart from that, it's really been a very enlightening time and a really good mix of both cultural things, and we were able to visit the Prado yesterday, which is really an incredible opportunity. So a good mix of kind of an intense program of discussions, of learning, but also cultural and fun things as well. So thank you all very much. Gracias.
Ahora subirá Hafsat.
Now Hafsat Abiola Costello, I give you the floor.
Elisa Joao.
Elisa Joao.
Elisa Joao.
Well, we'll have Elisa Joao, yes, because she has to leave early. Thank you.
AFSA, to give me this opportunity to speak before you. But I have to leave now because unfortunately, unfortunately, I have to come back to Mozambique, where do I come from. But I will not leave this room and leave Spain without saying thank you to Belén. Thank you, Spain, feminists. Thank you, the government of Spain, and mostly the King of Spain. It was quite an experience. I'm a judge in Mozambique, so normally, I think it's in all countries, judicial sector normally it's a closed area. Normally we don't, or not because we don't want, but they train us to behave like that, as if we are there and the society is here. But each day of my professional life, I used to try to be more inclusive, to be with women, to be with all different kinds of society, and to learn more, to listen more, in order to be able to deliver the proper justice. Raisa program gave me this opportunity. In my country, I struggle every day as a judge to improve in all sectors for what we do. It's sad to say that, but Raisa finally recognized the work that I'm doing in my country to improve the access to justice for women, for girls, for poor people. And it's touched me so much to be here, far away from home. I think it's 15 hours plane with plane, and to be finally recognized. I was not aware, I was taking for granted, but as this week, the interaction, the exchange of experience with each of you, my sisters, Women for Africa, and my sisters, women from Spain, I promise you that I will improve in what I'm doing. My work is very important for my country and also for all countries in Africa, because it's important, as the final conclusions state. It's important that we have laws with a gender perspective, but most of all, it's important that those laws must cure the injustice that women are facing, all the challenge that women are facing. So Raisa gave me this opportunity to learn, but most of all, to understand my role within my sector, in order to choose, to select and recruit the best of the best that women can give us within the judiciary. And I'm leaving very happy, but I hope to see you all in Mozambique, not only to speak up for other women's judges, but all women in my country, in order to understand that we are not alone. We are together. We will continue fighting, struggle for the better world for women and girls. Continuaremos lutando. Raisa program, thank you very much.
We will keep fighting. Thank you, Raisa program.
Y ahora sí, subir.
Now we will have Hafsat Abiola Costello, who already showed us her strength in fighting for Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
Judge, travel safely.
Thank you. A luta continúa.
And Victoria Asata. So I want to, in the moments I have in the final time with you, I want to say that this trip has been a blessing for the soul. It was a blessing for me to meet all my sisters from the 19 other African countries. It was also a blessing to meet the wonderful feminist women of Spain. I want to recognize the African sisters that I met. I will start with the judge because she's leaving. Judge extraordinaire and trainer from Mozambique, teacher and institutionalizer from Rabat, Morocco, visionary, bold activist from Tunisia, social builder of 40 years from Congo, ace communicator and writer of Africa's new narrative from Guinea, scientist modeling women's role in advancing research into diseases from Jordan, champion and feminist fighting child marriage from Ethiopia, protector of abused women, one from the civil society space, civil service space, the other from the NGO space, from both the Cape and Cairo, legal advocate of the trafficked, translator of the dispossessed from Mali, social revolutionary and truth teller from Algeria, government worker and community builder from Cabo Verde, builder of true peace from Somalia, researcher of paths out of rural poverty from Senegal, brave Democrat and social healer from Sudan, youth helping women reclaim control of their bodies from Niger, president and innovator in one of the oldest civil society organizations in Africa from Kenya, entrepreneur demonstrating that great success can come from great support from Ghana, cartographer mapping resources and communities from Mauritania, and myself, fighter for a liberated and collectively prosperous Africa from Nigeria. It was truly an honor for me to be with all of you. I want to say that I was deeply inspired by Maria and Paloma. I was deeply inspired by the Minister for Justice, who I could carry and I wouldn't even break a sweat. She was so small, but she was a force, and she's a force for justice for the women of Spain. And she gave us so much time, well into the night, with her in the ministry. It was inspiring to meet the different think tanks and to hear them invite us to work with them and partner with them to do collective research. The truth is that Africa has been called a dark continent, not because we're dark people, because there's North Africa and there's almost as light, if not as light, as people in the Mediterranean countries. We've been called a dark continent because if you want to exploit and abuse and violate a place, it's good to do it in darkness. But if we can work together, we can have light. And I have every confidence, I have every hope in the women of Spain. You know, today and last night also with the trip to the museum, and today with the trip to of the tour that we had this morning, we were able to see what a long history your country has. And we were able to see that progress is not linear. You know, there was the story they kept telling us everywhere we've gone about the contributions of Carlos III. And in the way that he is a builder, so also we believe is King Felipe VI. But progress is not linear because they told us also that Carlos III's grandson was so bad that you were not as happy with him. It made a lot of reversals. And so we can work together because progress has not been linear for us in Africa. It has not been linear for you in Spain. And because of that, you are more humble than many Europeans. You are one of the wealthiest countries in the world, but you know, there's something about progress and ranking. You may be number 14 in the world, but sometimes you are looking ahead and saying, but look at these other ones who are ahead. And you don't realize how much power and privilege that you have. We hope that by interacting with us in Africa, you begin to realize and exercise that power and privilege in a way that we've not seen in Europe. Yes, we hear about the values of Europe for democracy, for human rights, and we see it practiced sometimes, but actually on the continent of Africa, there's also a long history of you not practicing what you've said. So we hope that with women of Spain in charge, and especially the women feminists of Spain, we can write a new chapter. We can write a new narrative. That is my hope. And I want to close, because I don't want to take time away from what my sisters will share, with a small gift to all of you, which is a poem that I wrote a few years ago, and it is called My Sisters. My sisters, through all that you have faced, the dangers, the lack of support, the rejection, you have remained unbowed. I bow to you. On the path that you have chosen to care enough to work for much needed change, in spite of the lonely road, the bleak prospects, you have remained committed. I commend you. For the way that you move in this flawed world, always looking out for others, whether or not you had someone look out for you, you have remained your sister's keeper. I salute you. At last, a new world beckons. You, me, all of us together are called to usher it in. You may stumble, I may fall, but if we stand side by side, we will rise to this task as one. I count on you. I'm not surprised, Maria, that you have accomplished so much in your life, because you were a twin, and even from the womb, you were already with another woman. And I want to remind all of us of the African saying in closing: when you want to go fast, you go alone. But when you want to go far, you go together. Maria, I look forward to working with you most sincerely to create commitment in Europe and in Africa for a new day. And I look forward to working with all of you, that we go together, not for ourselves, but to lay the seeds so that in 100 years, when African people will be half of the world's humanity, we would have left a gangster legacy for those coming. Thank you very much.
Gracias, Hassan.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to have a representative from Tunisia, Joshua Froze, who will share with us her experience.
صباح الخير. Comme on est à la Casa Arabica, bonjour en français.
Since we are in the Arabic house, I will salute you in French, in Arabic.
Une semaine, au fait, très riche.
It's been a very intense week and very condensed, full of ideas. It's been full of ideas and emotions. We have had moments to cry. We have laughed together. We have even some swear words in the corridors. But this has not been annoying at all for either of us. So thank you. Thank you for having offered us this opportunity, for introducing ourselves, first of all, also to visit several public institutions, to meet wonderful women from Save the Children, from the Fundación Women for Africa, with a president who is in love with Africa. It happens often that we find people in love with Europe, with Latin America, with the United States, and it's great to see this love coming towards the other end. We have visited museums, we have discovered the archaeological roots from Salvador Dali and the creator of the first selfie in the world. And we have had the occasion of discussing different ideas, and we have undertaken our mission of being women, because we are outside the politically correct field. We are in the field of contradictory ideas. These divergences that we experience, these differences that we experience, allow us to build from there. These days have made me a richer person, and they have confirmed my identity. It's a feminist identity, anti-capitalist, anti-colonialism, anti-racist, and this has also confirmed my identity as a citizen of the Mediterranean. And since the arrival of the Islamists in the power in my country, we have seen that they have done everything to make us forget that we are from Africa, that we come from Tunisia, that we come from the Mediterranean area, and they wanted to impose a single identity with a very rich language and with a very rich culture, but it really limits ourselves and who we are. So these days have enabled me to have the courage to keep fighting for who I am and for who we all are, because there are many similarities between us. What I have seen in the lunches, in the tours, I have discovered that maybe in Senegal they do the same things that we do. For instance, the marriage with many women, we stopped it a few years ago, and you still have that. And maybe coming together, we can accept we can fight this domination, this patriarchy. We need to have a louder voice to fight against the patriarchy, and it cannot be what brings us together. We need to make the human dignity bring us together. It's also, these days have also been a confirmation of the importance of what we do, because as feminists and as women that we are sometimes excluded. We are ignored, not only from the power, but also we become invisible in what we do on an everyday life. We take care of the children, we take care of men, and when we work in politics, we realize that institutions are trying to exclude feminists from society. And here we have been welcomed by the king and by other men who claim to be feminists. And this makes me feel proud, because I belong to a movement that goes beyond Africa and the Mediterranean. We are all women from the world, and we fight together all sorts of exclusion and discrimination. This is an acknowledgement of what we do in our countries, and also of the solidarity and the strength of this movement that needs to be unique and to move against the patriarchy. We have also determined what are the points that we need to tackle in order to move forward. We need to tackle the things that makes us a minority, not in demographic terms, but in terms of the wealth, the access to water, of different inequalities, such as the political and diplomat representation. And we think that we can build relationships that are less hierarchical between the two sides of the Mediterranean, between Europe and Africa, relationships that accept our differences, but that also are aware of the similarities and We need to stop the sale of weapons that promote wars, and these wars also hit very hard women around the world. We need to establish a relationship between the political powers so that there is a greater control of the different resources, and to protect the women who are working in different areas without any rights, for instance, for their maternity leaves. And we need to stop these exploitations and the repression of women through investment. And we need to base our actions on ethical principles. The capital does not have an identity, but it has the same exchange coin that we see everywhere around the world, and it's impossible for us to keep on sustaining this system. Just to wrap this up, I would like to join my voice to those of women in Sudan who are fighting since 2019. They are asking for their dignity back. They fight the patriarchy of the authorities in their country. Now, the women in Senegal, they're together with men, with young people, with the poor people, to ask for the true freedom and far from religious beliefs. As a Tunisian woman, I think we belong in the same fight, and we need to keep on fighting together. Our solidarity will bring us to victory, and we will bring dignity to Senegal, to Tunisia, to Spain, and there I would like to make a special mention of Spanish feminists who have been an inspiration for us, and I ask for them, for their solidarity in order to materialize this fight in the countries where we live. And also, I would say our hope lies in 3 words: to rebuild this program, this Raisa program, which is very important for the Spanish people to get to know us, and to forget that people from Africa are not wanted in Europe. It's an opportunity to make our voices be heard, the claim for people to travel freely around the world. We need to rebuild on these very interesting ideas that you have summarized so well this morning, and we need to join other voices to reinforce the feminist movement both in Spain and in other countries around the world, for instance in Palestine or in the Sahara. For those women, we have to tell you that we are with you. We are another stone in a pyramid that we want to turn around, the pyramid of power that we need to turn around in order to have a greater power and be more entitled.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing your experience with us. Now we'll have Amina Itharuken from Algeria.
C'est incroyable. Les Algériennes passent toujours derrière les Tunisiennes.
It's amazing. We are always after women from Tunisia. During these 5-6 days, I think that the word that I've most heard is different but the same, this slogan that we've been listening to. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, we're not the same yet because there are barriers between North and South that are still there. But I hope that we will get to be the same. It's true that thanks to this program, those barriers are decreasing. I want to say that we are strong. We are different, and we are in deep shit. But a kind of shit that I like in a certain way, because it allows me to get to know strong women. Because when we realize of the inequalities, the patriarchy that exists, we see that everything is a struggle in the streets, at home, in the family, at work, everywhere. But for me, life is a feminism school, and women are the teachers in this school, and you have been our teachers. Elisa left, but she's been the educator during these few nights, but well, that's a secret. I won't share this on camera. I did learn a lot. You've been my teachers. I wanted to quote or to mention each country because I had never met women from these countries, so that's why I'm thankful for Raisa program. All the countries: Ethiopia, Guinea, Cape Green, South Africa, Egypt, Somalia, Congo, and even Ghana. All the countries participating in the country, and of course Spain. And to finish, I want to share with you something. I'm going to sing.
Avec vous un chant révolutionnaire féministe.
I want to sing a feminist chant, revolutionary chant. I changed one word because you inspired me. I'll translate it first. It says, women from Algeria are free. They don't accept humiliation. They will keep fighting until they achieve everything they want. Democracy is feminist rights. We are fighters. And I changed Algerian for Nigerian.
الانتصار الديمقراطية حقوق نسوية الديمقراطية حقوق نسوية ما زلنا ثوار ما زلنا ثوار ثوار Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias, Amina, por esta...
Thank you, Amina, for your contribution. Now I give the floor to Melene Rosu, who is one of the 100 young women receiving the African awards.
Good morning, colleagues. One thing that I've learned over the last week was to speak slowly. Thank you very much for that contribution. So, for many of us, I would assume today is a very sad day. And I will speak for myself, I think, directly, because I have created bonds with many of my sister leaders sitting in this room today, as well as the Spanish counterparts as well. We have learned from each other, we have shared, we have laughed, a little bit of fighting here and there, but nothing that we couldn't manage. And we are taking away profound lessons from this week. This document is testament to the excellence and the wisdom and the experience in this room. And for me, it has been an absolute honor to be in your presence this week. Thank you very much for that contribution towards my own activism. What impressed me most about the Spanish government this week was their sincere openness and willingness to share and impart their experience and their knowledge with us, not only about the advancement of gender equality, but also about strengthening democracies, which is vital for a continent like Africa. I was also impressed by your commitment, and that was reiterated by the Minister of Justice the other night. I was very impressed by this particular government official, where she said that social, political and institutional commitment is critical to the advancement of equality. That is not only a lesson I will take back to South Africa, but my commitment is to unpack social commitment, political commitment and institutional commitment in the context of my country and how we can make this a reality. I was also very impressed by the respect that you as the Spanish government and institutions have shown to these women leaders in this room today. The fact that you have introduced us to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the King, I mean, I will take that to my grave. It's huge. The Minister of Justice, civil society leaders, that shows the kind of respect you have for us. That shows us what value you add to us. And I am immensely grateful for that. Now, the UN Secretary General said that gender inequality is the biggest human rights violation in the world. Not one of it, it is. Because it impacts directly democracy, governance, human rights, the economy, and development. And for that reason, we must continue to fight. We cannot stop fighting. In fact, when we go back, we need to fight even harder for equal rights, access to opportunities, resources, and ensuring that all women across every sector, all parts of Africa have a seat at the table. They must be represented. I was deeply inspired by Madam President of the Women for Africa Foundation, President Maria, if I'm correct. And she said this, when I asked her about the key components to building strong feminist movements. She says building alliances is key to movements of women and feminism. It is important for global, diverse, and coherent feminism in order for us to be successful. So with that, I would like to wish you all of the best in your endeavors. I hope that this particular document that we've created becomes a reality and that we do not become the typical politicians that draft documents and never implement them. I hope that these actions and proposals becomes a reality. And wherever we can work together, you know where to find me. I would like to build alliances with you. I want to build strong feminist movements across Africa with you. So let us continue our fight, like my colleague from Mozambique said. Let us continue to educate, empower, inspire, and advocate for change at all levels and institutions in society. A luta continua. Thank you.
Gracias, Milene, por hablar siempre de...
Thank you for speaking always so powerfully, Milene. Now I give the floor to our colleague from Mali.
Wow. Que dire de plus après mes sœurs? Bon,
What else can I say after my sisters? Well, first let me introduce myself. I'm a judge, magistrate like my sister in Mozambique. I work currently in Bamako. I'm not going to talk about justice. I want to talk about access to justice. From the beginning of my professional career, even when I was at university, I've always been involved in associations, and I've seen judicial misery. That's the way I call it. This misery for women, girls with no access to justice. I saw the misery of victims of human trafficking, this illegal trafficking, women who were alone with no resources at all and who just want to have access to their rights. That's what I said when I was invited for this program. I said that Spain had achieved things that had not been achieved in other countries, like bringing 20 women from different countries in Africa. I think that without a program like this, I would have never been able to meet my sister in Lubna. And we have the same challenges, the same difficulties. And quite often when I travel around, they ask me, are you coming from Africa? And I say, yes, I'm coming from Africa, but I'm from Mali. Africa is not a country. It's a continent. It's not a country. It's huge. And I always get upset when they tell me I'm African. Yes, I'm African, but from Mali. And this program helped me understand that Africa is a continent, but it is also a great country. A big country where women are fighting every day since the day they're born. They just want others to hear them, to listen to them. They want to have their rights. And for that, we need to get up early, we need to fight, we need to speak up. And we have some things in common. I'm speaking about Mali, but I think this is the same in any African country. We share something with our Spanish sisters. We speak up. We use a loud voice. I saw that in Spain here as well. And when I go to other countries, I try to speak with a lower voice. But here I can scream, I can speak up, I can talk loud, and no one will say anything. And well, I got used to speaking up, using a loud voice so they hear me. Women, we need to speak up, to use volume for being heard. And I have a feeling that women are being listened to here. Feminism has reached a stage where it's something natural. It's not a movement anymore. It's something accepted by the society as a whole, and it's something that for me, I think it's going to be very useful for our fight, for our lives. When we got to know the Minister of Justice, I asked her, how did you manage as a woman? How did you get to achieve this status, to become a leader in your country? And she told me that the only secret, in her opinion, was commitment. And I think that this commitment is something that we all fight for. And Raisa chose us because of a reason, because of that commitment. And through our dialogues, through our discussions, I've realized that at my own level, I have many doubts. Often, because I think, well, when will we be able to rest? I sometimes just feel like giving up. Because for me to have an impact in our society, in the life of women, of little girls, I have to just quit my job, forget about my job sometimes. And I have to go behind the bench to reach women in lower levels, to help them. And this commitment, I think that is something we all have. And this program, Raisa, made it possible for us to understand that those doubts are normal. And that's what makes us strong. Sisters, you gave me my trust in myself back, my will to keep going, to keep building, to keep making a difference, to keep achieving an impact in improving the lives of women in our country. Thank you. Thank you very much to Spain for building these networks, for this opportunity to create these networks, which, well, for me, it's a seed that will grow. And when we get the fruits of these seeds, you will be here and you will have a taste of this delicious fruit with us. When my daughter tells me, when you become Minister of Justice, and I tell her, no, that's too difficult. I'll be Minister of Culture. But well, here in front of you, I would like to say that before talking, we need to talk to God before talking to human beings. So my commitment here is, I will tell my daughter, no, I will become Minister of Justice. And the first country that I will go as a Minister of Justice, and please tell the Spanish Minister of Justice, I will come back to Madrid, to Spain, to get to know the Minister of Justice, who will also be a woman. Thank you. Thank you to Carmen, Pablo, lovely Pablo. Thank you to all of you. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias por tus palabras. A continuación subirá Anne Iradi de Kenia.
Thank you very much. Now we'll have Anne Iradi from Kenya.
Bueno, seguimos. Vale.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Annie Reri, proudly from Kenya, or we call it Code 254. And before I begin my speech, I'd like to just give a short story. So I grew up in Nairobi, born and raised in Nairobi, and from the time I was a young girl, I never really understood the difference of what gender, the push for gender was, because I grew up with one sister and two brothers, and in our household, between my parents, there was no difference. We went to the same schools, very good schools in Kenya. We all went from primary school to secondary school to high school, and even when I told my dad I want to be a lawyer, there was no question about that. And way into my practice as a lawyer, I was set. I knew even after my chambering, I was going to become a corporate lawyer because I work with corporates. But on one day, one of the days that you decide, okay, let me just volunteer some pro bono work, I walked into FIDA Kenya, a legal aid center. And I recall very well, there was a girl who was my age who came in and she had really experienced gruesome gender-based violence. And the more I spoke to her, and she had cuts all over her body. And at the end of the day, I realized the only difference between me and her was one, that I grew up shielded, I had access to opportunities, which she didn't. And from that day, that was more than 16 years ago, I have never looked back. To the point where when I became a barrister, I actually had 4 job offers. 4. 2 from leading corporates in Kenya, but I chose FIDA, and to date, that's where I have been. So I began as an intern, and why I share that story every time and people get amused is because, and that has resonated a lot with everyone, the power of opportunity is very critical. And so with that in mind, I want to really say that this week, the opportunity that this week has accorded me has been monumental. I recall very well when I was packing my bag, and I think the first thing I kept on telling myself, okay, the Spanish embassy in Nairobi told me it's going to be cold, carry all at least a bit of warm clothes, I was just so, it was a blank space, because yes, I knew I was going to meet phenomenal women and great, amazing women in Spain to engage, network, and learn, but what I've experienced in this week has exceeded every expectation I had. Kenya and Spain have a lot of differences. Differences in culture. Of course, Kenya is heavily Commonwealth. We were under the British, so English is our first language, but we also have Swahili. And even amongst the languages that we are offered in school, I think mostly it's French, it's German, and the Spanish has started, but not as much. And we have other differences in how our society is organized. Of course, you have a monarch, we don't have a monarch in Kenya. And the language, of course, which stands out is something that we have to learn. But getting into the immigration gate at Madrid airport and to now, so much unites us beyond the differences. And I think sitting in this room and participating in this particular program, the first commonality that is unrivaled is the fact that we are women. We were girls and we are now women. And that for me is more than enough then to unite us. United in the fact that in every conversation, from our audience with His Majesty the King to all the great government officials we've met, the rallying call has been one from both men and women that we must unite in our quest for gender equality. So as Anne, who's leaving Madrid soon, what do I take with me? I think a lot has changed. One is the renaissance, and a lot of us needed that. I think what happens, especially in our work, in our quest in this sector, is that it can get lonely. So when we have come together, we've re-energized ourselves, we've motivated each other, we've given each other new strength. I take with me a lot, but allow me to just highlight a few things. One, just the smiles, the beauty, the amazing energy of everyone I've met, both men and women, has just been so profound. Secondly, for me, the unity of purpose, that we are privileged, we are blessed, we are granted this opportunity on behalf of so many of our sisters who would have wished to have the same opportunity. So what are we going to do with it? Thirdly, for me, and that's very important, is the strength and the resilience of the female spirit. That no matter what we face, we are unbowed. No matter what obstacles we face, we are going to overcome them. That no matter what is thrown our way, we take it as a lemon and make lemonade out of it. So while we are at it, and while we hope to achieve our dream and purpose, allow me to just highlight a few people who I'd want to thank. One, first and most important, besides court, is the Spanish embassy in Nairobi, because they are the ones who supported me, who nominated me, who gave me this amazing opportunity. And so I really want to thank them all the way from the ambassador. But secondly, also the amazing team that's led by Berlin, the AECID team, and everyone here, Maria, everyone who has been so warm, so kind, to Carmen and to Pablo and to everyone. The stay has just been amazing. I think there's no point. I mean, we also felt like royalty. It was a question of, what do you need? Are you okay? You know, I mean, that is really something we don't take for granted. But also to the amazing sisters, the women, both from Africa and from Spain. Your spirits, your personalities, our differences in approach, just everything that makes us uniquely women is what I'll take with me. And so as we proceed on, allow me to just quote my favorite personality, who's Wangari Maathai from Kenya. And in one of her powerful quotes, this is what she says, that in the course of history, there comes a time when humanity is called to shift to a new level of consciousness, to reach a higher moral ground. A time when we have to shed all our fear and give hope to each other. Sisters, the time is now. Let us not waste any of it. Let's move on. Alota continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Muchas gracias, Anne.
Thank you, Anne. As we are very limited in the time that we have, I would like to ask our colleagues to be a bit shorter in their speeches, because we want to have them all on stage. We're going to have Luma Nahavni Tahtamuni from Jordan. She was one of the 100 women that the BBC highlighted in 2016.
Thank you so much. I'm going to be too brief. So when I was nominated, I took 2 days before saying yes, because I didn't know why, like, why me? I'm a scientist. I spend my days in the lab, mostly in a room that is very dark, 2 by 2, just looking at the microscope. And people around me, especially in Jordan, keep telling me that you should make yourself more visible in the media and you should talk about your science and all of that. And I keep telling them, no, my science will speak for me. And being here in front of you, among all of these strong women, I want to thank Raisa program. You gave science a voice. You gave women scientists in the African continent, or Africa and Mediterranean, a voice. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you. We are going to have Raisa El-Kamshi from Morocco.
Hola.
Hello. I will be very brief too, because everything has been said. I think we are all agreed with what has been said up until now. I would also like to join in with the thanks to the agency, the Spanish Agency for International Cooperation for Development, because they have allowed us to get to know all the public administration institutions and also private institutions, NGOs, think tank organizations, and reflecting organizations. They have allowed us to meet in person and to greet His Majesty. And also I want to thank them for the time he devoted to us and to be willing to listen to us women in Africa. I would also like to thank Fundación Mujeres por África for being able to gather so many voices from Africa and the Mediterranean region. It has been an opportunity for learning about Spain on the one hand, with all the opportunities that I have had in order to get to know public and private institutions, and on the other hand, to meet my sisters from Africa, to get to know the diversity that we have. We're all different, but we're all working towards equality, and there's a long way to go still. We have been listened to. The Spanish cooperation not only has given us a voice, they have allowed us to be heard, to be listened to, and to listen to ourselves among African women. This is an opportunity that we don't have on a day-to-day basis. We are all working in each of our countries, and we do not have the time to hear what other fighters are doing for this cause. And this has allowed us to listen to us, to each other, and also for Spain to listen to us as well. So to me, what I will take back with me, I feel at home in Spain, and also I feel very warm among my African sisters. And what I will take with me is a new energy to keep on working, because sometimes we feel tired, and this has given me the opportunity to understand that we have to keep on fighting. It's a big boost to keep working from my field, and also to open my view on this. I work in the university, I work in a women organization working on the cultural aspects, and I feel jealous when I see other organizations working more in the legal aspects, but I work in a place where I cannot get in touch so much with women, sometimes when I do some field work, but not as much as other colleagues that I have who are working in the social field from other organizations. So this will enable me to keep working with more energy in order to align my activism with the research, and this is key because I do not have to stay within the research field. A professor asked me why I was in an organization. He told me to focus on research, but I asked him why. I can do both. If I'm writing and researching about feminism, I really need to incorporate this into me. I need to embrace this to do my work. Feminism has been one movement that has supported most of this subjectivity. And Raisa has allowed me to open a new phase in my personal and professional career, and to open myself to the global aspect without ignoring the local aspect. Sometimes I look into the north of Africa from Morocco, but this has given me the opportunity to get to know the activism in other countries in Africa. I will leave here today with a lot of names and of African women who will allow me to start researching about movements in Africa, about the situation of women in Africa, and I get the support of the international organization so that I won't be lacking the resources to perform this research. Also, I have new connections, new sorority connections. I feel strong as an African woman. I understand that the sub-Saharan African women are stronger. The more we go south, we find more strength, more force. And I bring with me this optimism, this strength, both in terms of the hope that I have been, that my African sisters have conveyed, and also I am happy to have had the opportunity of meeting this Jordanian colleague, a scientist who is breaking all the stereotypes, who is a strong woman, a scientist who is able to make a research in a field of science that has been only for men for so many years. I take with me this hope from my African sisters, and also the hope that we can carry out feminist public policies. Thank you all, and I hope that we will have a similar opportunity in the future.
A continuación subirá Huda Baba Simamed de Mauritania.
Now we will have a representative from Mauritania, Huda Baba Sir Mehmed.
Bonjour.
Hello. I come from Mauritania, from the National Commission for the Republic. I would like to thank the public Spanish authorities, the civil society, and we have had the honor of being welcomed by the King of Spain and the Minister of Justice, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and civil society. I would like to thank also the AECID and the Foundation Mujeres for Africa, Casa Árabe, and the civil society in a global manner. The Spanish women, it was a great opportunity for us. It was a very fruitful exchange and very interesting. We have talked about the issues of the African women in the different academic areas or in terms of security, etc. We do not have much time now, but I have to highlight that it was a very interesting exchange, and it will have an impact through the Raisa program on the life of African women. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, Pablo. Thank you, Belen. Thank you all. It was also an opportunity of meeting the Minister Amon, Justice Minister from Somalia, and other women from Africa and the Mediterranean region. It was an opportunity of creating new connections between different African countries. Thank you to you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we will have a representative from Senegal, Lortol.
Bonjour.
Good morning, everyone. I am a bit impressed, overwhelmed of having to speak in front of you now that I know you better. During these days, over these days, we have agreed in recognizing the inequality situation of African women, Mediterranean women, and women around the world. During these days, they have asked to tell about the limitations, the constraints that women endure in each of our countries. Sometimes these constraints are similar, sometimes they're different. The problems that we have found in our debates, and sometimes these debates have been very animated and varied. We have had to prioritize these different constraints. What we have made clear is that our cause is a fair cause, it's a fair fight, and that we need to tackle this from different viewpoints, because sometimes these constraints touched on many aspects. We are sometimes women, black women from a rural area, lacking education, lacking resources. So there cannot be one single solution for all women. We have a positive role as women. And I would like to share with you two things. I would say maybe two recommendations, although you will find more recommendations in the documents that we're going to be given. First of all, that it's key to promote the civil society organizations when we talk about a positive change for women in Africa. These organizations are really the drivers of change, even if we will also need some changes at a government level. The second aspect that I would like to highlight is how we can tackle this type of change. Our actions and the funding need to come from different sectors. And I would also like to see that this funding, this help aimed at women and at women's organizations are no longer cross boundaries. They need, we talk about micro help, micro funding, and I would like that the activities that we perform are Raisa activities. They are big activities that we aim high. This week, I have tackled it in a somewhat awkward way. I'm tired and I have taken some days off. Like many women, I'm tired. I am a working woman, I have children, and I have many things in my mind. And when this opportunity of coming here came, I was about to reject it, and my family pushed me to come here. And during these days, I have had the opportunity of laughing a lot, of crying a lot, of learning a lot. And at the end of this week, I was absolutely knackered at the beginning of the week, and I'm full of energy at this today. I think this will give a boost to my activities with the Raisa program. I have had the opportunity of finding women from sciences like myself, from the academia like myself, and I have also had the opportunity to meet people whom I would have never encountered in my life, in my personal life, in my professional life. So thank you, Raisa, for giving me the opportunity of meeting such a variety of women. What I have learned and what I think will stay with me for the rest of my life is that feminism is not on the side. As a researcher, I have never claimed to be feminist within my work, but after this week, I am Lortal, researcher and feminist. So thank you to the Raisa program for giving birth to this activism, to this feminist tal that I have become. Thank you very much. I am very sorry, I need to insist, we have very limited time and we need to go faster. I wish we could spend the whole day here, but we will have now Diaka Kamara from Guinea.
Hello, everybody. I want to start off by thanking Belén and the Raisa program, and of course the Foundation for African Women. I must say that the theme, different but equal, was truly observed during this whole mission. We were treated equally by the king. We were treated equally by the different ministers we encountered, by the different organizations, by the parliament, by the agency, the cooperation of agency, by the agency of international cooperation, and of course by the Foundation for African Women. So I really want to thank you guys, to thank Spain, those amazing women, our team, Carmen and Pablo, for making us feel welcome and for treating us as equal. Because I think that often enough, what lacks in our partnership is the equality. We are always treated as the people that are being saved, the people that are being helped, instead of equal partners. And I think that's what the Raisa program has shown me, that yes, we are different, but we are equal. They see us as their equal. That's the first part. The second part, it took a foreign country to recognize our value as African women, to recognize our value as leaders. I don't know about y'all, but me in my country, I'm always seen as the eccentric one, the crazy one, the American ones with her ideas. She thinks she will change things. But Spain saw me as a leader, as a force for change, you know? And I am profoundly, profoundly grateful for that. And I remember when I posted the picture with the king, they're like, oh my God, you met the king of Spain. So you actually have been doing some good things. It took coming to Spain to get getting that respect from the Spanish government, to get that respect from my own peers. They say in French, nul n'est roi chez soi. No one is king in their own kingdom, I guess. And the other thing, I am forever grateful to this program because I have met this extraordinary woman. You're all my crushes, you know, from Suleimana with her beautiful smile and resilient spirit, to Meline, Madam President, to, of course, my fellow gangster, Hafsata, you know, to all of you. I mean, if I have to talk about all of you, you know I can imitate all of you now, you know. But thank you, and truly, and it has strengthened my resolve to keep on doing the things that I am doing. And it's given me hope that yes, we can do it. Yes, we can be the change and affect the change that we want, not only in our society, but around the world. So thank you, truly, thank you to all of these amazing women, especially the president of the Foundation for African Women. She is just wow. And to know that there is someone like her who believes in someone like, in us actually, and who fights for our rights, give us hope that yes, we can. We are different, but we are equal. And that's what this program has shown us, has taught us. And let this program be an example to how to treat your partners, how to treat the people you want to work with, how to treat the people you want to change this world with. And as long as we are in the same footing, we will succeed in fighting for women's rights, which are human rights. At the end, as long as we are women, we are connected throughout this world. We are connected to our struggles. We are connected to our suffering. We are connected to our passions to see this be a fair world for all of us and all the little girls that are out there trying to find their place. And once again, we represent the voices of the voiceless. Let's never forget that. I don't speak for Diaka Kamara. I speak for all the women of Guinea, the one who wakes up at 5 a.m. in the morning to go, you know, farm so she can grow food, go to the market, sell that food, come back home, cook, clean, and take care of her family. These are the women that I'm defending here today with all of you. So thank you so much. Once again, I am truly, truly honored and privileged. It is a privilege to be up here. Privilege to be with all of you. God bless you. God bless Spain. God bless the King of Spain, I guess. I don't know how they say it. And of course, Hala Madrid. Thank you.
Gracias, muchas gracias. A continuación subirá Mariama Abdul.
Thank you very much. Now we'll have Maria Abdul Gabo from Niger.
Merci beaucoup, Maria. Tout d'abord, je voudrais dire...
Thank you very much, Maria. I would like to thank AECID for organizing this program, and thank you to the Foundation Mujeres por África. Thank you for the roundtables, the discussions we shared with other women in Spain fighting in the same fields we're fighting. Thank you to the authorities, because they've been like family. When I posted the picture with the king, it felt like I was with my father. So thank you to all these people. When we were coming here in the embassy in my country, I told them that this was going to be about learning about Spain, learning also about African countries, and I'm not disappointed at all. I felt that everything was very intense. I felt great. Everyone was really open. I felt welcome, and Madrid is a wonderful city. We visited many cultural sites. We walked around the city. We learned many things about Spain, and we exchanged things in an ideal framework. We were able to share experiences, and what I'm taking with me from this program is that girls, young girls, women in Africa, in the Mediterranean, are brilliant women. Also, women and girls in Spain are brilliant women. Young girls in Africa, in the Mediterranean, in Spain, they're all brilliant. And we've talked about many things that will help us keep fighting in our struggle for a more fair society. We are responsible of how this world evolves. We are responsible of our commitment, but also responsible of what we need to do for these women and for all our communities. War is not finished, but we've already won some battles, and we are the example of these little victories in each of us in our specific sector. If we want to win war, we need to be together around the world, and thanks to being united, we will be successful. There's an African proverb that says that on your own you go faster, but if we're together we get farther away. And this is true. I think that the union in Europe, Spain, with Africa is an example of these. This has to do with learning and finding solutions with our leaders. We need to create networks. We need to have an influence in politics, in policies. If we want that impact, we need to get involved at a political level. Our countries need to build national strategies to help women, because projects are sometimes limited in time, but these strategies could be in the long term. So if we need to win, if you want to win the battle, we need to work hand in hand with men, not to negotiate with them, but to get our rights. Many acknowledge the abilities that us women have, and we need to promote leadership among young girls. Each of us, we can reinforce that leadership, raising awareness, training other women, because women, female leaders, are the ones who will make a change in the world. And I want to take the opportunity to say a few words in the memory of two friends that I lost this year, two young women who were fighting for women. One of them was 26 years old, and the other one who died last Tuesday was 33 years old. They were amazing women. The first of them died in Agadez Road. She was traveling to a different region in the country. She was going to a camp, and the bus just had an accident, and she said, I don't stop fighting. And my other friend who died a few days ago, I remember a conversation we had some time ago. We had launched a project for family planning, and I've talked to her about this program. And the last words she told me were, don't worry, you just get ready, study for your exams. I have another very intelligent girl who was with me that day, and she will help me. And so being here and talking to you is, for me, a reinforcement of what these two women do. And I would like to say that the struggle, what we're fighting for, has its losses, because these two women lost their lives fighting for other women. I would also like to thank my sisters here. I'm the youngest one here. I didn't know how I would fit in, but you were very open. I felt welcome, and I go back to my country with a lot of knowledge, and I think I need to keep learning, because I still have a long way to go. When you're young, you're creative, but you also need knowledge, the knowledge you have to improve things. And I will finish by saying that I have hope for young people in Africa, for young girls in Africa. I have hope for the world. I have the hope that we will get to a fair world, a peaceful world. I think it's possible. Thank you.
Muchas gracias por tus palabras. A continuación subirá Julien Lusange de la República Democrática del Congo.
Now we'll have Julien Lusange from Congo. Okay.
Oui, bonjour. Après.
Good morning. After the strength from our young colleagues, it's always difficult to continue from old age. When I got here, when I arrived, when I saw young people in front of me, I thought, Julien, will you really be able? Is this really your place? Do you fit in here? But, well, I think I did find my place. I hope that also you, young women, found your place next to me. On my side, we shared great moments. We shared a lot of things. In spite of the obstacles of the language barrier, we were able to share ideas, to exchange ideas. We also tried to share our ideas with the Spanish women that we got to know these days. If it's true that, even if it's true that sometimes we would have liked to have more time to keep talking about our struggles, our challenges. And there was something surprising for me, how simple everything was when it came to welcoming us here. The authorities that devoted their time to us, they were there with us. There were no soldiers, there was no military, no weapons, because in my country, when there is a political representative, there are weapons involved, and so it's difficult to talk to political representatives. We talk to the king, to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, of Justice. In my country, it's not easy. It's not easy, and that's a lesson I take with me. We always talk about this in my country when there is an event like this. Well, obviously, when a representative has an appointment, they're not going to change that. But here, it's flexible when there has been an appointment arranged with a lot of time, and then they tell you, no, that person cannot see you. This is hard, especially it happens when it's related to women actions, to our events. So, sisters, yes, it's a long battle, and all the women in Europe, in Spain, they have showed us that they've been fighting for a long time, and they are still fighting. They are still fighting to achieve equality. And, well, they've improved a lot, and we have great hope. They told us, you need hope. Hope is alive. Things change. They change slowly, but they will keep changing. And in my country, we're at war. Those of us living in the east side, people think that we don't even know how to laugh. Or others, they say that we laugh as a trauma. But no, we laugh because we still have hope. We have a lot of life. And we know that we can change things, that we can improve, we can change our traditions, we can get some things done. Women are rising, they are becoming aware of their leadership, and this will continue. So this program, Raisa, for me, I think that it will lead to specific actions that we will develop together. Of course, there are countries that are a priority for Spanish cooperation and countries that are not so much a priority. But I hope that this Raisa program will make it possible for Spanish cooperation to touch these women who are living in conflict areas, who are facing terrible problems, and in spite of that, they are able to change things. It's very important for us. We want to take action and not just get together and speak. We need to take action, specific actions together. We were able to draft some plan for this cooperation. We think that we can improve leadership, to train more young women, to share experiences with them. We have many things to share with them. And these initiatives, the most creative initiatives that the young people have, we need to have all those energies focused on changing, on improving. Thank you for this time. I hope that we will be able to keep fighting, and I hope that we can help and show women that are in our countries, to tell them about everything we lived, we learned here. And I invite you all to come to our countries, to my country. It's true that sometimes people are scared because of wars, but you can live in a country like mine, and if you visit us, we will get even more energy to keep fighting. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. Now we are going to have Rosaria Almeida Vera from Cabo Verde. Cape Green.
Hola.
Hello. I thought that you would never call my name. Well, I see that we're running out of time. I am used to talking for a long time, although I haven't been able to speak so much because I had difficulties with the English and the French languages, but I've been able to understand everything that has been said in the past days. First of all, I would like to thank the Spanish cooperation for the opportunity that they have given us to be here in Madrid, in Spain, sharing knowledge, experiences, and obviously we're going to leave from here with a wealth of knowledge, because we have learned so much about other cultures. We have seen that we have common fights, that the goal is to promote the advancement of women. And these have been very important sessions supported by a wonderful team, Bethania, Belen, Pablo, even the drivers of the buses, and who stayed and were very patient listening, hearing us speak. And we, of course, are very grateful. I think it's very important to cooperate of all women and men. I am a feminist, but I sometimes say that we need to have men on our side as well. We need to have feminist men so that the change is possible. I think it's very important to collaborate, to disseminate these ideas and to share what we have learned here, since we have been able to create a network among us African women in order to implement our ideas. I have talked with many people in my country from throughout this week, and I have 15 women who are ready to keep on fighting. We need to fight for girls attending school, to raise awareness among women, to inform them about their rights, and this is going to be very positive towards change. And as the president of the Fundación Mujeres por África said yesterday, we need to be strong and to be very determined and committed. We cannot give up the leadership, and we need to reinforce the communication that we have talked about during these days. We need to disseminate all the good things that we are doing around the world, both in Africa, in Spain, or wherever it is that we are based. We need to fight for the just causes. We need to promote training and inform society about all the changes in order to fight all these assumptions. We need to fight against sexist stereotypes that are still alive in our societies, and we need to work strongly. We need to fight fear and fairness, ignorance. We have a lot to do, and we have learned here that we can do it together. We can promote the advancement of women. I have written some things, but I'll try to be brief. Women are creating paths with our positive energy. We want to be responsible and acknowledgeable, and we want to create the path to protect our rights. We are able of doing miracles. We are unique in everything we do. We are the reason for the future. And to me, Raisa means R for responsibility, A for ambition, I is for intelligence. It's also to work with sorority and to have to be amicable and establish friendship with other peoples. If we do all something, we will accomplish the change in the world.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. Now we will have on stage Amal from Egypt. Amal Abdelkader from Egypt.
Hello, I'm a short speaker, so don't worry about the time. I would like to express my pleasure today for the great informative program. You not only give us the one lifetime chance to meet with His Majesty the King, but also you have treated all of us as royalties. Word cannot thank you enough for his hospitality. I understand from these great 5 days about the Spanish culture, the importance of think tanks in order to plan well for women, and how the success come out of passion and good work in empowering women and equality. I learned from the Spanish cooperation how to be organized and to be dedicated to what you believe in. I suggest to have an annual or semi-annual Raisa meeting in one of our countries to exchange knowledge and to keep up the spirit and good work. I encourage you to increase these kind of programs, field trips or courses or scholarships for more women in our continent and Mediterranean countries, as I have my scholarship master degree from University of Iowa in South Korea, which I'm grateful to the country of Korea up till now, and learned a lot from this experience. I'm thinking of arranging with the Spanish cooperation in Egypt to organize a program of Raisa or in Egypt, and invite you all to watch and learn from the good practice in Egypt nowadays, as I'm working now with the Spanish cooperation in Egypt in the completing of VOW file. since 2018. Now, due to the great activities that included in the program of AECID, the Women Complaint Office are recognized more nationwide, as we received 68,000 complaints during the pandemic in 2020 and work in solving more than 90% of them. Thank you again, and really I'm inviting you all to Egypt to watch and see the progress we have done since 2013 in the women empowering, and how the political endorsement of strategies that empower women make a difference on Earth, and the raising awareness, continuous raising awareness and education make a difference. Thank you all.
Muchas gracias. Y por último, para cerrar la...
Lastly, to close the round of experiences, we are going to have the representative from Sudan, Sulaima Isaac.
I will be very brief, don't be afraid. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. And I will be very brief in thanking the Raisa program, the Spanish government, and the efforts behind that, because one day I was in my office working, and then I was called by the Spanish embassy to provide them with my CV. I didn't ask them why, I just sent it. And a few months back, His Excellency called me that you are nominated for the Raisa program, and he said that it's for young people. And I said, do you think I am young enough to participate in this program? But actually, I'm very grateful, because it's not just enlightening to us, it's actually telling us that still in the continent you don't know about other women, that other women could help you in solidarity to reclaim our public spaces within science, within technology, within economy, and within political arena, and then have the two keys of protection and prevention to enable us to reclaim this arena, as different arenas that we need to reclaim. And it was very great to see the foreign policy of Spain, how it's affect the way they're dealing with things. Their humble way of telling things, they're not judging. They're seeing us with different lenses. They don't see the Africa, it's all that poor, impoverished, and need help. They see us as potential for development for the whole world. It's not just for the continent. I so appreciate this very much, because they look at us from the different view and the different lens, and we know that we are still be different but equal in many things. Thank you all, and thank you also for my sisters. They have been providing a lot of love and support during the last few days. They make my mornings, the nights I can deal with them, so they are difficult, but actually the mornings were very nice. I was always bubbly and smiling, and I'm grateful for the love and hospitality and support. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. Thank you, all of you, for sharing your experiences with us. We hope that we will be able to meet again and to keep sharing this path towards equality between men and women. It was a pleasure and an honor to share this time with you and to learn from you. I would also like to encourage the people who have been following us to take note of all this that we have heard, and realize that with little gestures we can get very far together. Our artist on the stage will finish her painting as soon as she can, and she will donate her work to the Raisa program. And I would like to ask to put our hands together for all of you. Thank you very much, and have a safe trip back. I would like to say something. It has been a challenge and a pleasure. This is a base where all of you are included. It will take me about a month, but you will all be here. It's been a pleasure. It's been a challenge. I don't like working outside. I don't like anybody to see me working, but to know that each of you with that great strength are already inside of me and that I will carry with you, with me all my life has been wonderful. And it's been wonderful to create for you. And I will send a picture of the work once it's finished. Thank you very much.